If I could dumb things down to where the dumbest of the dummies can understand what I'm talking about and you still choose not to understand, it's that you are so committed to discourse that you don't want to be okay. What's good, y'all? Lonnie Appleton here. We are talking conflict resolution, talking things out, and not allowing things to fester. This is part 7, I think, of this series. Clearly, I want to talk about it. But what I was saying at the end of this last video and the beginning of this video is I am using my life experiences and things that I see going on around me and using those as practical applications of why we need to evolve our lives and choose not to stay in a space of disconnect and discord. And every once in a while, I'll get someone who hops on one of my videos and says, nope, I'm going to continue judging. Nope, I'm going to continue blah, blah, blah. Nope, that doesn't really work. Nope, that's not realistic. Even though I am actually living it and applying it. So yes, it is realistic, but it may not seem realistic in the world headspace that you're in right now, but it's because we are so married to the identity that we have created for ourselves that we would rather stay in a space of disconnect and discord and chaos before we look and we say, okay, that kind of makes sense. How can I apply that to me? But that's a message inside the message. That's not the message. So Bailey and I are in a space where we are talking through our issues, and you need to make sure when you run into issues with your children, you need to talk to them. I know that we come from a headspace that I don't need to explain myself to a child, but if you are not explaining yourself to a child, you are missing the opportunity to teach your child conflict resolution skills. If you have an issue with your kid and you're redirecting them, however you choose to redirect them, you also need to teach them how to have a voice and talk it out. Otherwise, you are creating the next generation of adults who do not know how to use their voice, who do not know how to talk it out, and they then choose violence because that's what society says you do when you have conflict. Moving on to me and Dre, because I have been bumping up with everybody this wonderful past week. I'm just going through something, y'all. Like, I am evolving at a rapid pace, and the things and the emotions that are manifesting within me are just, I don't know how to handle them. And my agitation is bumping up against other people's agitation, and I don't have the capacity at the space that I'm in right now to be able to whoosh my way through it. So I've been matching energy. But after the matching of the energy, I do come back and we have to have these conversations. But not with Dre. Part 8 or 9, I'm not sure. So I talked about this briefly in a previous video where I said that Dre and I had a conflict and he mocked me, or he didn't mock me, he made a joke, but his joke was rude, and I told him he's being rude and he told me I'm being sensitive. What's good, y'all? I'm Lonnie Appleton. We are talking conflict resolution skills. We are talking about it, and we are just in a series of why it's important to talk through issues with your children so that you are not creating the next generation of adults who don't know how to talk through their problems. But now I'm talking about my husband and I, who ran into a conflict, and when I got ready to talk to him about it, he was like, I don't want to have I don't want to hear your dissertation. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. So I am a communicator. And I value being able to be expressive and share my thoughts and ideas. Like, that's very important to me. For years in my relationship and in my family, in my home, I have felt that I have to silence myself because there's no space for this. These 9 videos, there's no space for this in my home. So why do I record so many freaking videos? Because things are constantly going on in my head and I can't speak to people in my house. So I'm speaking to you, and hopefully I'll find 1 or 2 people that can understand what I'm talking about. So when me and Dre bump up against each other and I'm working through my conflict resolution skills because I don't want to have this energy between us. At this point, if there's energy between us, it's not because you upset me and I'm going to let you know you upset me and I'm going to give you the cold shoulder until I get over it. No, I'm in an energy space any longer than it has to be because you have not granted me the opportunity to talk about it. I need to share where I'm at And you can share if you choose where you're at, and then we can move past this energy like that instead of letting it linger. And me saying I'm not allowed isn't me throwing a tantrum. Since you won't let me talk it out, I'm not getting my way, then I'm going to... No, we need to talk about this, because the two ways that we can handle this in my home is the old way, where we just let it linger till the energy is gone and then we just get back to normal. And that's typically how most of us do it, and that's why our kids ain't got no damn conflict resolution skills and they out here getting into stuff. Or we can talk about it and get this energy up out of here. Why the heck is something that happened on Monday still affecting us on Friday? The only reason something that happened on Monday is still affecting us on Friday is because we have not talked about it. And that's the space that we're in right now. A dramatic conclusion to our 10-part series on conflict resolution, talking things out, and giving your children the skills to choose to handle conflict with their words instead of their fists. What's good, y'all? Lonnie Appleton here. If you have a couple of minutes, that's what we're talking about. So you can't really talk things out with someone who doesn't want to talk things out. And on top of Dre and I bumping up against each other, he just chose that entire day to respond to me just sarcastically. He may not believe that he did, but his energy was just obnoxious that day. And he's like, why are you doing this to me? And I'm like, I'm not doing anything to you. You're the one who is actually acting weird. And then when I'm talking to him there, he mocks me and mocks how I speak. And I was like, okay, 2 times in one day, you have let me know, 1, you don't want to hear what I'm talking about, and 2, you just mocked the way that I speak. So you have just confirmed for me, if it wasn't confirmed before, I'm going to stop talking to you. So previously, his complaint was, I always said, yeah, sure. Because I'm a communicator, but if the people around me don't want to hear me speak, I don't have idle conversations. I do not value small talk. That's why I don't like being around people, because you gotta have these little idle conversations, and I don't care about what you did today. I really don't. Now, if you want to talk about some let's talk about some But if you just want to, hem and haw, go find somebody else that wants to hear themselves speak. She ain't me. And so now I'm in this space of, okay, are we going to do a typical Lonnie where I shut down and I do the whole I'm not talking to you anymore declaration thing? Like, I don't know how to move past this space, because I need to talk about what's going on and to clear the air. But if the other person isn't on the same page as me, the conversation, is it pointless? I don't know. I don't have a solution for this piece. I don't have a pretty bow for this piece. I just know that me and Dre ran into a situation, and I don't know how to move past this space other than the way that I have always moved past spaces, is to ignore the issue until the issue is no longer an issue, which is counterproductive. But that's the space that Dre is in. He doesn't want to talk about it because that's doing too much. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't know about that side. But on the Bailey side, we have moved past it because we talked about it. On the Dre side, we're still 2 ships passing in the night.